You're 25 years old. You're fresh out of the academy with a clean record and a face no one remembers. The agency doesn't put you in a suit, they put you in a dive bar in El Paso. Your job is simple: exist. You sit at the same stool every night, drinking cheap beer and watching the door. You're looking for a bottle, a low-level lookout who needs a driver or a place to crash. You make $40,000 a year from the government, but in this bar, you're broke and desperate. You're waiting for them to notice you, waiting to see if you can keep your mouth shut while the world moves around you. 6 months pass. You've proven you're not a tourist. One night, a mid-level recruiter for a local cell pulls you aside. He doesn't give you a 13-second beating like an MS-13 initiation, but the test is just as visceral. He hands you a stolen car and tells you to drive it across the border. You taste the copper of fear in your mouth, but you don't run. You're not Agent Smith anymore. You're Slick. That name is your new identity. Blood in, blood out. Not your blood, but the blood of the identity you used to have. You're 27. You've been deep for 2 years. You're now the reliable driver, just like the cartel transporter. You show up at a warehouse at 6 a.m. There's a white semi-truck loaded with produce, but underneath the floorboards are 500 kilograms of meth. Your route is Sinaloa to Tijuana. If the Marines stop you, the agency can't bail you out. It would blow the operation. You make $3,000 a trip in dirty money, more than your handler makes in a month. You buy the shoes, the watch, the persona. You start to feel the power of the lie. You're 29. You've earned your stripes. You're no longer doing grunt work. You're a collector. You go door to door at pharmacies and nightclubs, collecting tax envelopes. You see the fear in the business owner's eyes, the same fear you used to see when you wore a uniform. You make $1,500 a week in commission. You have a used BMW and a girlfriend who thinks you're a construction contractor, but you're marked. The local police who aren't on the payroll have your face in a database as a verified gang member. You're a target for the very people you work for. You're 32. You run a cell of 10 men. Your job is to move 100 kilos of cocaine a month and protect the plaza. You're managing chaos. Your men are young, stupid, and high on their own supply. When a rival crew hits one of your lookouts, you don't call for backup. You send 6 guys with AK-47s to handle it. You're making $50,000 a month in tax. You sleep 4 hours a night with a gun under your pillow. You trust no one, not your men, not your girlfriend, and especially not your handler, who is starting to sound like a stranger on the phone. You're 35. You're a ghost. You control the distribution for an entire city. You manage the supply chain, negotiating for heroin and precursor chemicals from China. You launder millions through car washes and construction companies, legitimate businesses that hide the rot. You're pulling in $200,000 a month. You live in a house with 20-foot walls and armed guards. You meet with governors and generals, offering them suitcases of cash to stand down. You've stopped being an agent who is pretending. You are now a CEO of a billion-dollar empire built on blood. The feds are building a RICO case, and your name is at the top of the list, but not as an agent. You're a shot caller. You're dividing territories between Sinaloa and Sonora. You've had plastic surgery twice, so your own mother wouldn't recognize you. The agency tells you it's time to come in, but you know too much. You're too dangerous to be left alive by the cartel, and too compromised to be saved by the government. You're a prisoner of the life you chose, trapped in a golden cage. They finally pull the plug. It's a raid at 3 a.m., but it's not the feds. It's a rival cartel, or maybe it's your own agency cleaning house. You end up in a cell, but it's not ADX Florence. It's a black site or a hole in the ground. You had billions, you had an empire, and now you have 4 concrete walls and the memory of a name you haven't used in 15 years. You are a ghost story that trainers tell new recruits at the academy. The cycle doesn't die with you. Somewhere in a dive bar in El Paso, there's a new kid. He's 25. He's fresh out of the academy with a clean record and a face no one remembers. He's sitting on the same stool you sat on 20 years ago, watching the door, waiting for his chance to be the hook. He sees the older guys with the money and the respect, and he thinks he can do it better than you. The drugs keep flowing, the money keeps moving, and the cycle continues.